little friends! Welcome to Bright Buddies!
Once upon a time, in a peaceful little village, there lived a cheerful boy named Arjun. He was kind, intelligent, and full of dreams. More than anything, he wanted to become the best kite maker in the village. Every afternoon after school, he watched his grandfather carefully craft beautiful, colorful kites that danced high in the sky. Children from nearby villages eagerly waited to buy his grandfather's kites because they were known for their beauty and strength. Seeing Arjun's interest, his grandfather would often smile warmly and invite him. "Come, Arjun. Sit with me, and I'll teach you everything I know." But Arjun always had an excuse. Some days he said he was too tired after school. On other days, he promised he would start tomorrow. Sometimes he wanted to play with his friends instead, and other times he simply said he wasn't ready yet. His grandfather never became angry. He would simply smile, continue making his kites, and quietly wait for the day Arjun would decide to learn. Not far away lived another boy named Kabir. Unlike Arjun, Kabir wasn't naturally talented, but he showed up every single day to learn from his father. Even when he made mistakes, he kept practicing without giving up. Week after week, Kabir's kites became stronger, brighter, and more beautiful. Whenever Arjun saw Kabir's progress, he felt a little jealous and wished he could make kites just like him. His grandfather gently reminded him, "You still can, Arjun. It's never too late to begin." Yet the next morning, Arjun found another excuse. "It's too hot today," he said. The following day, he blamed the weather. Another day, he chose to play instead. Slowly, days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. One evening, as the sun was setting, Arjun's grandfather handed him a small wooden box. Curious, Arjun opened it and was surprised to find dozens of tiny folded pieces of paper inside. He unfolded the first one. It read, "I'm too tired." The next one said, "Maybe tomorrow." Another read, "I'm too busy." Others said, "I don't know how. What if I fail, and I'll start next week?" Looking confused, Arjun asked, "What are these?" His grandfather smiled gently and replied, "These are all the excuses you've given me this year. Every time you chose not to begin, I wrote your excuse on a piece of paper." Arjun stared at the growing pile in his hands and felt embarrassed. He hadn't realized how many opportunities he had wasted. His grandfather then said something Arjun would never forget. "Excuses are like tiny stones. One stone feels light, and it doesn't seem to matter. But if you keep collecting them every day, one day they become so heavy that they stop you from moving forward." Those simple words stayed in Arjun's mind all night. He couldn't stop thinking about the little box and how his own excuses had quietly stolen so much time. The very next morning, everything changed. Instead of saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," Arjun walked straight to his grandfather and sat beside him. He picked up the tools and began learning. His first kite was crooked and ugly. The second one tore apart before it could fly. The third one wasn't much better. Feeling disappointed, Arjun sighed, but his grandfather simply smiled and said, "Good." Arjun looked confused. "Good? They're all failures." His grandfather laughed softly and replied, "No, Arjun. They are called progress. Every mistake is teaching you something that excuses never could." From that day on, Arjun practiced every afternoon. Slowly, his hands became steadier, his designs improved, and his confidence grew. Months later, the village held its annual kite festival. The sky filled with hundreds of colorful kites dancing in the wind. Arjun entered the competition with a kite he had made entirely by himself. As it soared higher and higher above the crowd, everyone clapped with excitement. Even Kabir congratulated him with a smile. Standing beside him, Grandpa looked proudly at the colorful sky and said, You finally stopped collecting excuses and started collecting experience. Arjun smiled because he finally understood. Success had never been waiting for tomorrow. It had always been waiting for the day he decided to begin. Moral of the story: excuses may feel small, but they slowly steal your dreams. Success belongs to those who stop making excuses and start taking action, one small step at a time.
Subscribe to Bright Buddies. Thank you for watching.